Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we got a lot of stuff to cover, so I'll start what's going on around Bakhmut right now. Ukraine has made a lot of progress south of Klishivka. This is where they've been mainly pushing since the beginning of July and the counterattack in this area. There have been reports of them entering the southwestern outskirts of the town after going through a big major fortification that was to the west of the town. That's also coupled with a big push in the direction of Andrivka, which pushed them right up to both of the two settlements. Andrivka is a very small settlement. There's like, I think, let's count the houses. There's like less than 20. The main fortifications by Andrivka are in this area right here in the form of trenches. There's also this rail line right here, which Ukraine used as the main barrier defense for a while. This line also goes down to the Mayorsk train station, which is where Ukraine was anchoring their defense for a while. These pushes right here give Ukraine important positions south of Bakhmut, which could potentially lead to some sort of collapse. They've just been getting closer and closer in these areas with steady progress, and it looks like this may lead to something big. They already have fire control over the road from Klishivka to Andrivka, and since Ukraine controls the hills right here, they also have fire control over the road that leads into Klishivka, which is going to lead to serious problems with supply to this settlement. If Ukraine is able to capture Andrivka, the next step would likely be to clear the area west of the rail line, which would involve beginning an attack into Kolomyichykha. And once the rail line area is taken, then they can start expanding out to this hill right here, which would give them a really good tactical advantage pretty much everywhere around this area. And if they're in control of this area, this puts many positions, as well as the ones in Klishivka, pretty much untenable. We may see something similar to this happen, but that's what we got right now. Right now, it's just going to come down to capturing these two settlements, as well as establishing positions on top of this hill right here. After they attack that hill, this ledge right here is the only next natural barrier in the way of oskil. And then if they're already in the steppe behind the rail line, this river is the only natural obstacle in the way to oskil. And if Ukraine's able to capture oskil, that's going to put Bakhmut in serious risk of encirclement. I wouldn't be surprised if they are able to capture Andrivka and Klishivka if Ukraine brings a lot of their reserve divisions that they have waiting in Zaporizhzhia into this area. The next area I want to talk about is Kherson. This is older news, so I'll go over it really quick. The Russians tried to counterattack the positions that Ukraine had when they expanded the bridgehead, and now they've completely retreated from the area north of the Konka River. This is important because this will allow Ukraine to expand their positions outward and start to gain momentum into taking Oleshki. What I think is going to happen if they do take Oleshki, I think they're just going to try to capture that city itself and then turn it into a fortress and just try to draw Russian reserves away from different areas. Now the last area, this is older, I went in order of when it happened. The Russians gained a little bit of ground north by Svatove. They didn't capture any settlements, but they've gotten 2 footholds on the west of the Chervonopopivka River. The Chervonopopivka River was the main front line in this area for a while after it became pretty dormant. But right now it seems like they're attacking Tokarivka and some other areas here. This was concerning when it happened, but after a couple days passed and no follow-ups happened, it seems like their momentum has died a little bit, but this could definitely keep developing in a certain way. The whole point of this operation is just to push back to where they were at the end of the first part of the Kharkiv counteroffensive. They want to reestablish their lines back to Lemon and the Oskil River and potentially take over Legiom, because that was their plan from all along. The biggest problem with the Russian command in this war is that they've just been like laser focused on doing a plan which involves going down from Legiom, down from Lemon, and up through Bakhmut to take Sloviansk and Kramatorsk. Bakhmut really showed the Russians that they can't just grind through a ton of different cities in order to capture them. And at the beginning of the war, this was their plan. They were going to push to Barvinkove, cut Siversk from Sloviansk by pushing down from Lemon, and push up through Bakhmut to take these 2 cities. The reason why they focused so hard on this plan is because it's a really good one. It's a really good plan. It avoids a lot of compact, small fights inside of urban areas, which Ukraine has proved to be better at, and allows the Russians to use their biggest advantage, which is how well their infantry can work in fields. But the main problem with this plan was that they seriously lacked the manpower to do it, and Ukraine was able to exploit that back in September last year, when they did the attack into Balaklia and then up to Kupiansk, and then the rest of the area just collapsed. Realistically, Russia could have stopped it at the Oskil River, but they just didn't have the manpower to stop the Ukrainians from rolling the line all the way up to Svatove. This was the turning point of the war where Russia switched to defense for pretty much until now. Bakhmut was the only section where the Russians still had offensive actions, but they switched to defense by building the Svatove kreminna line, as well as the big fortification network south of Zaporizhzhia. These were created at the end of last year. And now it seems like Russia may try to go on the offensive, but the problem is taking 8 months to take Bakhmut made them realize that they can't just do that to Sloviansk, Kramatorsk, Kostiantynivka, and Druzhkivka as well. They've had 0 success advancing towards Chasiv Yar, and it made them realize that they do actually need to have Lemon in order to take the Donetsk Oblast. Their goal is probably likely likely to push down from Liman and cut off the Sievers pocket, having a big retreat happen, which hopefully would make them disorganized, and then they could attack Sloviansk from two sides. But right now, the fact that Russia is still relying on this plan that they made at the start of the war and are still going through it shows the lack of flexibility. And like I said, it's a good plan, but they also don't control Izium, so that removes the Barvinkove axis from it as well. I should have just made this a separate video. I'm going off right now. And right now, it seems like by pushing in this area, they're attempting to push back to this purple line in order to refill out the plan that they had earlier. And so far, there's a little bit of success. I doubt that they'll be able to recapture this whole area. Alright, and that's what I got today. See you guys later.